I've been a Getaround host for just about 6 weeks, and over the last 6 weeks, I've learned a ton. But at the end of the day, I know what you guys want to know, and that is, how is my Getaround car actually performing? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in this video. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the full performance of my Hyundai Elantra GT, and I'm going to be talking about how often this car is utilized, how much it's been making, how much I've been earning, and what my thoughts are on the Getaround platform so far. Now, I joined Getaround to take advantage of their summer host earnings guarantee program, and though this program is nearly over now that summer is coming to an end, there are still quite a few benefits that I've come to really love about the Getaround platform, including not having to check in and out your cars every 24 hours, having everything based in the app so you can easily do remote key exchanges without worrying about a lockbox, and the ability to diversify your fleet. So if you're interested in joining Getaround for yourself, be sure to check out the link in the description below. But now let's dig into my experience on Getaround and how much I've made in the last 6 weeks or so. HP and I over the last few months have been really trying to explore different ways to increase our income without increasing our workload. So because of this, Getaround was sort of the perfect solution because it allowed for us to add a vehicle into our fleet without having to add any additional time commitment to that vehicle. And so far, I've been really happy with the progress. So let's first talk about the car that I have listed on Getaround. Now, I listed a 2015 Hyundai Elantra GT, and I paid $9,100 for this car. Now, this is a little bit newer and higher end than a typical car that I would buy, but the reason why I chose this car specifically was for a few different reasons. Number one, I really like Hyundais. We have a number of Hyundais in our fleet, and they have performed extremely well. Hyundais are, in my opinion, the perfect mix of value and price. You get a really solid car for a really good price. You get the creature comforts of a regular modern day car like what you would expect, nice interior, aux cord, electronic locks and windows, but you don't necessarily have to pay a premium price in order to get that. I think that the value with Hyundais is nearly unmatched. And with my Hyundai specifically, it has dark interior, which is just perfect because it means that the interior will stay in pristine condition significantly longer. We also wanted to make sure that whatever car we listed on Getaround would be able to opt into their Drive with Uber program. So because of that, we had to get something that would be desirable to an Uber renter. So for all of these reasons, we decided to go with the 2015 Hyundai Elantra GT, and as of right now, I definitely think that that was the right choice. Now, we purchased this car at the beginning of June, and it did take it a couple of weeks to get active on the Getaround platform. The car had some recalls that needed to be addressed. We also had to get the Getaround tracker installed as well. You see, with Getaround, you have to have a tracker installed in your car. This gives you info on the battery, gas levels of the vehicle. It also has GPS tracking, and you can unlock and lock your vehicle in the app. This is required for all Getaround hosts. And once we finally got the trackers installed, we got the recalls addressed, the car went live at the end of June. For the month of June, our car was only active for a few days and it went out on one short rental. And for the entire month, we made $190.83. This included earnings from the short trip as well as the availability bonus from Getaround. I didn't get the host earnings guarantee bonus for this month because my car wasn't active for a long enough period of time. In July, the car went out on 7 reservations and made a total of $503.36. But I was paid out $1,092 because of the host earnings guarantee program. Now, June and July are the only 2 months that I have full earnings on, which brings my total income to $1,282.83. The month of July started off pretty slow. It took a while to gain traction. You see, there's the 4th of July weekend, people were out of town, and with Getaround, you're not targeting people on vacation, you're targeting local renters who need the car for personal use or for the gig economy. And I definitely felt like this with the holidays affected our bookings at the beginning of the month. But by the end, the ball started to roll and I was pretty pleasantly surprised with where we landed. Now, I don't have all of the details on how much this car is made for August because Getaround's tracking is a little bit lacking and they don't provide you a ton of insight on the month that you're currently in. So the data for August is pretty vague. But I can say that the car has been absolutely rocking it and it's been on back-to-back rentals for the entire month. And if things continue like they have been for the rest of this month, then we should probably exceed the host earnings guarantee of $1,092 for the month of August, which would be great. Now, one thing about Getaround is it has taken some time to get the ball rolling. It's taken time to gain traction. Whenever we first started, bookings were just trickling in at a very slow pace. Then as the month of July started to progress, we got more and more. And now that we're in August, we're getting more than we've ever seen before, more than we even had last year whenever we gave Getaround a try originally. And I think that my experience experienced so far this summer is a testament to the fact that sometimes you just have to sit back and let the platform do its job. If you're patient, the bookings will begin to roll in, and that has certainly been the case with my Hyundai Elantra GT. Things started off slow, but started to increase within a couple of weeks, and now that we're sitting here 6 weeks into Getaround, I'm really happy with how things are going. Another thing that I mentioned earlier on in the video is the fact that with Getaround, you can opt into something called Drive with Uber, and basically what this is it allows for people to use your car for Uber services. So for example, somebody could rent my Hyundai Elantra and then use that car to drive for Uber. Thus, they use your car in the gig economy. And I noticed that whenever you look at Getaround analytics, you can actually see what type of guest is renting your car, whether it's someone who's renting it for personal use or if it's someone who's renting it for Uber. And whenever I look at my analytics, I can actually see that the vast majority of my renters are renting it for Uber, which I thought was interesting, and it sort of solidified my decision to sign up with Drive with Uber because it's definitely increasing my utilization. All in all, I'm really pleased with how it's going. The plan was to list this car on Getaround throughout the duration of the host earnings guarantee to see how this car performed, but I will definitely be keeping this car on the platform in the future to see how it does. We were able to make good money on this car, and as of right now, this has definitely been the most passive vehicle in our fleet. In fact, I would say that on a per week basis, HP and I probably spend 10 to 15 minutes cleaning and checking in the car. In between bookings, we just peek in to make sure the car is tidy, we'll wipe down any surfaces, and then we clean and take the car to a car wash about once a week. So we're definitely leaning into the passiveness of the business model this time around. All in all though, so far my experience with Getaround has been pretty seamless. The car has seen an increase in bookings, and I'm personally really excited to see how it does as the year progresses and as we enter fall and the holiday season. People are always looking for ways to make extra money during the holidays, and I'm really curious to see if that will have an impact on my utilization because of Drive with Uber. Now, you guys may remember that last summer I joined the Getaround platform with the Scion XD, and the results of that experiment were a little bit underwhelming as the car was underutilized and thus it didn't make as much money as it probably could have. And this time around, I not only joined Getaround to take advantage of the host earnings guarantee, but also as an experiment to see if the Dallas market had matured more since the last time I was on the platform. And ultimately, I would say that the conclusion here is an absolute yes. We saw an increase in demand, an increase in earnings, and an increase in performance this year over last, and I'm really happy with how things shook out. We will be doing more Getaround updates in the future, especially as we head into the holiday season, as I'm really excited and interested to see how this car performs with Uber as we head into the holidays. But in the meantime, if you're interested in joining Getaround yourself, you can find a link in the description below. But with that being said, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some valuable insight into my experience with Getaround so far. If you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, I would love to hear it, so make sure to leave a comment down below. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video.